So it's Danny Flexent here for Seconds Out. Delighted to be joined by my good friend Adam Booth. Adam, how you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm very good. Here at the Boxing Booth Gym in Merstham. We've been here before, of course. Seems to be having some more work done out the front. How's it all going in the gym and evolving over time?
It's a busy gym. There's hopefully a lot of big fights happening in the first half of this year. Not going to tell you what because I'm still trying to put them together. But yeah, I think it's going to be a busy one.
You can't tell us what. Can you tell us who? At least on your side of the bill.
No.
Brilliant. So let's talk about Josh Kelly anyway, whether he's part of that or not. How's everything going with him? I've seen him in the gym working hard, looking pretty sharp considering it wasn't that long ago he fought.
Yeah, we've rolled straight from December 16th with a little break. Good start to the year. Big year for him now. Step up year. He's in his prime, 29 years of age. And it really is time to let the leash off him and see what he can be. He's evolved immensely as a fighter and a man over the last 2 or 3 years. And it's going to be an exciting one because I do think he's got so much more to show.
How much better is he now, in your view, compared to the Josh Kelly who fell to Avanesian and had to change some things?
Well, I can make a comparison from personal experience. If you look at the David Haye that lost to Carl Thompson, and then the David Haye that unified the cruiserweight division and became world heavyweight champion, it's as drastic as that. Right. They become, something like that. You normally go one way or the other, and Josh, in the same way as David, have certainly gone in the direction that you would hope as a coach.
Do you think he needed that defeat in that case? Do you think it was an important part of his journey?
Yeah, I mean, because it was a catalyst to look into things that weren't being paid attention to or resolved. So absolutely. But that's what it is, right? When things like this happen, you reevaluate and you start to look at things that you hadn't seen before and start to resolve them. And for Josh, it wasn't to do with anything that was going on in the gym or in the ring. It was everything outside of it. And he worked long and hard with Stephen Green, and I started to see the big changes after about 1.5 years to the point where he's the fella he is today, and he's ready to be in his prime.
Now, last time I was here, Mick Conlan was still an intrinsic part of the stable. He's since moved on, of course, just amicably. And also, what did you make of his most recent performance? But it was a surprise defeat, of course.
It was a surprise defeat. Anything can happen in boxing, and I think Jordan probably knew that it was his last hurrah and went out there with not a care in the world and not a fear, and that probably caught Mick out off guard a little bit. It's a shame, but like my time with Mick was amazing. We got some great memories, and some big nights, ups and downs, but it was real with Mick, and it was a joy.
Does it feel like a bit of a new era in the gym now? I know Josh has been here for a while, but apart from him, you've got quite a lot of new people that are joining.
Well, no, like I've got Sam Antwi, who's British super welterweight champion, working with a new middleweight that potentially is going to be in some really big fights this year. Meeting with someone next year. Yeah, I've been doing this. Sometimes I think I've been doing this for too long, but I'm like a moth to the flame. I can't help myself sometimes, and it's like maybe it keeps me young. It hurts sometimes because I still do the pads, but it gives me energy and enthusiasm to get out of bed in the morning and to do something that I feel is meaningful.
I think having no hair that can turn grey helps look young as well. I'm quite envious of that fact. So maybe I should shave mine off. But moving on from that, you said you've been around a long time. We've recently seen a shift in the power base of boxing on a promotional level to the Middle East, of course. It's even driven Frank Warren and Eddie Hearn, long-time rivals, to work together to make nice, as they say. What do you make of this latest kind of development in boxing's history?
Money talks, right? Money talks. If you follow the money, or you'll normally find the reasons for things, and there is so much investment apparently from Saudi, and not just whimsical. It seems that they are quite determined to make boxing something over there, and so yeah, it makes sense that shrewd business fellas like those two would put their swords down, and the suggestion that they have that big night of 5v5. If that doesn't happen, that would be a real shame, because I think they've both got significant enough fighters and significant enough talent to make a night like that something that we may not see again. So as a boxing fan, that could be immense. So I hope that Frank and Eddie get it done.
as a boxing fan, but also as a boxing manager and trainer, are you disappointed at all that none of your guys have been involved in that Saudi scene so far?
I don't know. No, not really, because we've got substantial things ahead of us that are exciting us. So no, like going over there would be an experience, a nice experience, a new experience. But no, I'm enjoying the fact that that's going on, because it's lighting up part of boxing that was getting stuck. And now people all of a sudden are talking about these fights taking place that ordinarily you might get one a year. You could end up with 2 years worth of competitive fights on one night. So no, I don't care that we're not involved in that. I just enjoy watching it.
I want to ask you quickly about a couple of fights taking place in Saudi. First of all, the undisputed heavyweight title fight, Fury against Usyk, less than a month away now. How do you kind of weigh that one up? And I suppose the question a lot of people have been asking, how much can you take from Fury's substandard performance against Francis Ngannou?
Well, the substandard performance can make a man like a wounded cat. And so you don't know how someone's going to spring back from a bad performance, a loss, or criticism or something like that. You don't know, because it could light them up and make them that much more on edge and that much harder to beat. And I think that's what it will do with Fury. But in the same token, I also think that Usyk has evolved into a man that's carrying that weight over the 12-round distance better than he was at the start. So if you look at him against Chisora, like, he struggled to maintain the pace in that fight, but he has evolved into the heavyweight division. So I think that actually I can see why you would get the best of both of them on Feb 17th.
Can you pick a winner?
Well, I've always gone with Fury, because he is so big, so long, and can move so well for a big man like that. And if he does decide to sort of physically impose himself at times and try and win ugly, but at the same time being long and tricky, it's going to be the size of the task and the size of the physical task for Usyk is immense. If Fury goes about it the right way, like if he picks the right times to rough him up and bully him, and he picks the right moments to move and box and trick him, and that's going to be the interesting play out, and how Usyk adapts to each moment. It's fascinating. It's the best fight in the heavyweight division.
Oh, by far. But there is another big fight taking place in Riyadh in the heavyweight division. Well, there's several, but particularly Joshua against Francis Ngannou. Has his threat been overinflated based on the performance against Fury, do you think?
No, I think one thing that was really surprising was how well balanced Ngannou was. That he looked really, all right, it was his pro debut, but he's a seasoned fighter, good with his hands, and he had immaculate southpaw balance. He really did. And he was able to reach and time the heavyweight that's the hardest to reach and to time. So, no, I think if anything, it sort of let everyone know that the fella's a genuine, world-class heavyweight. And so AJ's got the benefit of that hindsight. Fury didn't. It was easy to see why Fury would have possibly underestimated him and got caught out. I think we all got caught out right at the start of the fight when he came out and shaped up, and the way that he shaped up and the way that he held his shape together and the things he was doing. And he's obviously a big, tough man as well, because he didn't flinch on anything that was landing on his chin. So AJ's carrying the hindsight, and I would imagine that AJ will be smart, box smart, not over-engaged, don't linger too long, and probably use his amateur pedigree of fighting a lot of southpaws to box his way into the fight and see if he can settle him down with that.
That's AJ's most sensible course of action. What would you be advising Ngannou to do if you were in that corner?
Well, it depends, because it's all based on what the fella can do. Now, we don't know what Ngannou can do. We know what he looked like against Fury, but AJ is going to definitely present a different style, a different rhythm, and a different pattern. And it's whether he's got the next game to deal with that. And you got to look at what AJ may do in the fight and prep him for that. But I don't know whether Ngannou can or can't.
Just finally, pick us out, if you will, one or two fighters to watch, prospects. Could be in your stable, could be outside your stable and you've seen them, or you've seen them in sparring, anything. But who should we be keeping an eye on?
I feel like I'm a bit of a hermit, if I'm honest. I do. I feel like I'm a bit of a hermit. I know where Josh is at in his career, but I won't be biased. I don't know. Because this video now will be me sitting here for 10 minutes not saying anything, trying to remember who the hell's out there. I've just finished like an hour and a half on the pads, and you got me a bit of a disadvantage. So can we stick a pin in that one and I'll come back to you?
We certainly can. Adam, really appreciate it. It's always fascinating. I know you need to get off. So. Cheers, mate.